And we are on for top 10 business stories of the week from Poland. I am in Austin, Texas this week for the Texas CE Tech Summit. Magda is in Wrocław. So we are coming at you from two different locations and continents this time. So quite interesting angle today.
Truly international podcast, okay. I can say.
Exactly. So let's start with top 10 stories of the week. And Magda, what we got to start with? Going in least important order.
Okay, so we will start with the information that Poland's Senate approves 350 million euros wall along Belarus border. Poland's Senate has approved a plan to build a 350 million euros wall along its border with Belarus to prevent migrants from illegally entering the country. The upper house of parliament gave final approval to the proposed 100-kilometer border wall on Friday after a second vote.
Yeah, interesting story. We'll see what happens. Good they're building the wall. We've seen, if we can get into politics, with the U.S. not building the wall, what's happening there, absolute flood, out of control. Poland's got to stop this. I don't know how the EU is going to weigh in, but it's a big issue, big problem. And I commend Poland for this move. So we'll see what develops with that. Okay, next story, Magda.
European Union approves 173 million euros aid scheme for charging and refueling stations. The European Commission into electric charging and hydrogen refueling infrastructure for zero and low emission vehicles to be in line with EU state aid rules.
Yeah. Interesting deal. This is the Polish government pushing hard to get this infrastructure in place. It's always a chicken and the egg. Do you have electric cars without the fueling stations? So they're going to push hard to subsidize it, make it go faster. It's also interesting what they have inside of this is also a provision for hydrogen fueling stations as well. So that's also part of it. So you're going to see as well, not only the rollout of EV charging stations across the country, but we're going to also see some test cases with hydrogen fueling, which is going to be very interesting development as well. So that's good to see that coming, and that will support the EV vehicle adoption in Poland very, very quickly. Okay, next story, military.
8 billion zlotys to be invested in Navy's frigates. As part of the Miecznik program, the shipbuilding industry is preparing for the construction of 3 multi-purpose frigates. This is the largest investment modernizing the Polish Navy.
Yeah, big deal. And this is another example of the Polish government adapting and overhauling the Polish military, long overdue, in fact. And also, I just want to reiterate the opportunities that are out there on the procurement side, military procurement, in buying things like boots and food and transportation. Big opportunities there for international and Polish entrepreneurs. And by the way, this Navy frigates, there are essentially 3 big groups fighting for this. British Babcock is in the running, the Spanish Navantia is in, and the German ThyssenKrupp, their marine systems group, is also fighting for this. So big deal, big money. Good to see this this investment.
Okay, the next story for today is about Maspex that buy CDC from Russian Rusal for nearly $1 billion and will take control of 9 top vodka brands, including Żubrówka vodka. The entire agreement will double the turnover of the Polish company, but the provisions have yet to be reviewed by the Office of Competition and Consumer Protection.
So we followed this quite a lot years ago when CEDC, US company, went bankrupt and was bought by this Russian Roust for a song for very little money. And now the Russian Roust is refocusing on the Russian market and on the Asian market. And they've sold wholesale the CEDC group in Poland at a good price, $1 billion. Good transaction for Roust. Interesting deal for Maspex, led by Krzysztof Pawinski. We'll see how they do with that. He's a great operator, so it should be quite an interesting deal. Let's watch how that unfolds as well. Okay, next one, Magda.
Polish central bank surprises with biggest rate hike since 2000. The NBP governor did not rule out further tightening as emerging Europe's largest economy grapples with its highest inflation in 2 decades. The National Bank of Poland hiked its main interest rate by 75 basis points to 1.25%, raising the cost of credit for the second time in as many months.
Yeah, and in fact, inflation's coming in at almost 7%, so quite incredible, big number. Some of that's imported, but some of that's domestic as well, but big number. And I applaud the Polish central bank to stop this, to slow down the inflation rate. It also has, of course, positive repercussions for the currency. So we'll see how that unfolds as well. Okay, next story.
Koreans step into intense nuclear reactors petition. There is the announcement from the last week from the hydro and nuclear power that will propose to Poland the construction of 6 APR 1,400 reactors with a total capacity of about 8 gigawatts.
Yeah, so this is a Poland energy revolution, evolution, a transformation very much in force now. It's coming fast and furious. Finally, after nothing happening for decades, the Koreans have realized there's a big opportunity on the nuclear side. They're going to be fighting head to head with the Americans, Bechtel and Westinghouse, and the French EDF. So it's interesting to see Korea come in big. Another side story is that Koreans are also working with the V4 quite strong as well to get further into strategic investments. So the Koreans are coming strong, not to be underestimated. So we'll see how this plays out. Big money, good thing for Poland, more transition from the dirty, polluting coal that's slowly going away in Poland. Next story.
Okay, now we have information for citizens of Kalisz, because Kalisz waives property tax when greening roofs and facades. On 28th of October, the City Council of Kalisz adopted a decision nudging locals to take climate mitigation more seriously. Upon the proposition of Mayor Krystian Kinastowski, the local parliament decided that citizens could count on real estate tax exemption if they green their roofs or facades.
Yeah, so we thought this was interesting and significant because here we have a relatively small town in Poland, the mayor taking the initiative and saying, we're going to incentivize local citizens to do what you just said. And that's great because that's going to be adopted and copied across Poland. And that is real grassroots movement to incentivize individuals and companies and houses and homes to green their own places. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that gets expanded, but another good move, grassroots move. Watch that get copied across the country. Okay, next story, Martha.
Yeah, we have two stories connected with the benefit industry, I can say. The first one is that Benefit Systems buys another chain of fitness clubs. The company buys 88% shares in Total Fitness. The transaction is to be finalized no later than April the 1st, 2024. A Benefit System will spend between 75 million zlotys and 85 million zlotys on the acquisition, depending on the results of the acquired network in subsequent years. And the second story is that Medicover took over the network of Fitforma fitness clubs in Łódź. As part of the transaction, the company's sports portfolio was supplemented by another 10 fitness clubs, 2 of which are under construction. And after the acquisition of Fitforma, Medicover will have a total of 80 fitness clubs in Poland.
Yeah, so we're seeing this kind of a consolidation and fighting between the benefits providers, Medicover, Benefit Systems, and going into the sports clubs, fitness club business. So those, of course, fitness clubs were hit very hard from COVID. So they're suffering, they've been suffering, good time to buy them. But we're also seeing these benefit systems or medical systems going into taking a kind of a holistic approach to what they're doing. Medicover understands prevention is part of the solution, exercise is part of the solution to health. And so interesting game here. Look for that to continue to more transition and more consolidation in the fitness club business. And our last big story for the day is.
Yeah, the most significant story from the last week is that Poland's Allegro buys Czech online retailer mall for $1 billion. Polish e-commerce group Allegro has agreed to buy Czech online retailer mall group for 881 million euros, so it's about $1 billion, to create a regional platform, sending its shares up as much as 11%. We can add that this is a good deal for both buyers who will benefit from more choice on one place and merchants that will be able to list once and sell everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been talking about this deal for some time, kind of, it's been on the sidelines, not happening, but the looming power of Amazon coming in big time into Poland with its Polish language version coming in very hard is breathing down the neck of Allegro. So that's why I think they moved into action right now. So we're going to see more of this consolidation, huge competition coming in that space. Will be interesting to watch it as well. So that's the top 10 stories for the week. We'll be back on next week. You guys, everyone have a great business week. Hopefully those of you who are in Texas with me here will have a wonderful week. We'll be very productive. We'll check back in with you in a few days, Magda, and have a great week.
Yeah, of course, as always, have a good time in Texas and see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Magda. See you. Bye.